Over the last few days, I've been thinking ahead to decorating, so I've been looking out a few old treasures and planning where I might put them in La Forge. But it did make me start to reminisce. I know it's not been that long, but I do so remember the day I came downstairs and saw my piano for the first time. It was such a lovely surprise, and I think we're going to need help to move it. It weighs an absolute ton. Glancing around upstairs and seeing Steve's guitar. He hasn't strummed it for a while, but he was so keen to learn, and with the help from our friend Ted, he came on in leaps and bounds. It makes me smile every time he plays. But he hasn't much time at present, strangely. But these are the things we can take with us. What really pulls at my heartstrings are all the things we can't. How we transformed the house, changed the upstairs into a beautiful boudoir, especially from the wreck it was. Removing the flooring with all that entailed, and then all those floorboards Steve laboured over. It's so comforting to sit in front of our lovely fire in the kitchen and dream away. I recall my niece Livy saying how romantic it was to have a log fire, but it's quite hard sometimes. Especially when you have to get logs in from the cold. Meanwhile, back at La Forge.
So we're hacking the walls out, getting rid of all the loose render in the bathroom so that they can be nicely pointed, nicely repointed with all the nice stones showing. Should be good.
After the walls have been dug out, the mortar then gets added. To start with, it looks like no stones will show at all, but once this has dried, it gets brushed back, and it's then that the stones underneath are revealed. Mortar needs to dry slowly, and in this cold snap we're experiencing, it's taking a little longer than expected. So it's the bathroom, the spare room, but only the wall that houses the little door to the mezzanine, and the two walls next to the dormer window that we're mortaring. The rest we shall fill and use a textured paint to keep the old-fashioned look. Downstairs, Steve starts to put together the worktops for the kitchen.
Right, so this week I've been poorly, and also I've been gluing up the worktops ready for the kitchen, which is arriving in a few days, I think. So this is what they look like when they're just, this is when I've dimensioned the timber and then just glued it all together. These are in the clamp, this top one's in the clamps drying, but the two underneath, there's one underneath there as well, I don't know if you can see, hiding under there. As I've only got one big bench, I can only do one worktop at a time, but this is what they look like when they're glued together in their rough state. And then this one, I have finished flattening it, sanding it, about 2 hours of sanding, maybe more than that, down to 120 grit, really giving it a good clean. Tried to clean as many, fill as many blemishes as I possibly can, and that's just had its very first coat of Osmo oil, the waterproofer for specially designed for kitchen worktops. So this is the back of the worktop that's going to go against the wall. This is the edge that's going to go against the cooker. This is the front edge where Joe wanted to keep the live edge. So it's all grainy and knotty and wonky, and then the surface, it's hard to see, but And that's the oak. Near light it looks on the camera, on the phone, but in reality it's a bit darker. I don't know what that orange patch is. It's not in real life. Anyway, so I'll let you know how it dries out.
So it's a beautiful day again today. And as I always say, cornflower blue sky, although it's not today, it's too pale to be cornflower. So following on a little bit of the film the other day about which room is which, I just wanted to take you back into the workshop because Steve's had quite a bit of a tidy up in here, and you can see the size of it more now. And that in the background behind Steve is the room that we don't know what it is. So we're going to investigate at some stage, but
we'll take you along with us on the journey. We will open it up with.
We will. We'll actually vlog it of us opening it, but I'm sure hopefully there's no dead bodies in there. No. But Steve's just going to take the camera off me and go up the ladder and just show you the space that he's found up the stairs. Very carefully.
Very gingerly.
Shall I hold the base of the... Mind your head. Oh, crikey.
So.
Pan nice and slowly.
This is above the workshop, and I didn't realise until I went up here this morning that it's got a new roof. Well, we knew it's got a new roof, but we knew that it had a new roof. But I installed some lights up here this morning, and amazing space. The joists are all absolutely rock solid. So I'm going to get some flooring down in here, and I might be living out here. But it is, I think I worked it out, it's 34 square metres. So it's a big space. Very useful.
So the reason that we called the house Le Forge is because we looked at this little area and thought that perhaps this was an open a door at some stage, and you can imagine that this fire, although I'm not sure if it's big enough to be a forge, would have been lit, and I can imagine horses being brought up out here. But it's all blocked up now, and I think we're probably going to... Well, I don't know, you said that we might open it back up again, didn't you?
I am going to open it back up again. Yeah, it'd be perfect.
So you can bring the little tractor in and everything, or the not-so-little tractor.
Not for the little tractor, or the big tractor. But I'm just thinking in the summer months, if I'm working in the workshop, I can have double doors wide open looking down the land.
Yes. So it's such a sweet thing.
And for getting materials in and out, it's brilliant.
Yeah, really good. So, up these stairs again, but oh my goodness, look what's happened up here. Right up to the ceiling. I can't believe it. It's church high. It really is. It's so high. And it's been all plastered and everything. It's all still drying, as you can see by all the patchiness. But, yeah. So, as carrying on again from doing a little walk through, these are the stairs. So, walking up the stairs onto the landing. And then if we turn to the right, this comes into the bedroom. I know I've mentioned it before. So yes, this end of the room is going to be for dressing, wardrobes and things. So the big armoire we've got at home, we'll go there where Steve is. I mean, it's the hugest thing in the world. But the other thing we're thinking of is that this light, we've got an amazing block and tackle that we found in the barn that's just gorgeous. It's an old oak thing and it's just really, really beautiful. So we're going to attach the light there, then have it go right up to the top of the ceiling, or probably to that beam, not right to the top, on a really thick old rope. and then hanging down with the block and tackle sort of here, and then a big lantern. So I've been searching for lanterns this morning, come up with quite a few ideas. So that looked really nice, won't it?
Yeah.
Look at it looks gorgeous. So, and then round this bit, oh, look at these, I haven't seen these lights yet. This is going to be our main bit of the bedroom. So the bed will go here. And these are some new little lamps that we bought, which actually look very pretty. They're not old, but they sort of look old. And they give out a really nice soft light. So that's really nice. And then all these gorgeous beams again. And then through into the bathroom. And the walls have all been pointed incredibly well and beautifully done. But it's funny how when you look at it, you look at this without Steve in it, and it doesn't look very tall, doesn't look very high. But then when you put Steve in, you can see how high the ceiling is, but it looks like it's really short, but it's really tall in here. It's lovely. So we think at the moment that the bath is going to go about here. The loo is going to go there. And then this side, we're going to have the chest of drawers, which we've got at home, that we call fruit frou, with like a bowl sink over it and a nice big mirror on the wall. Although we have got one rogue stone, like we always seem to have, that sticks out. It's such a shame to not keep that, but we're going to have to unless we have the mirror lopsided, which I don't think would be a very good idea.
No.
But yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we've got sorry, Dan, what were you going to say?
It started to look like a house.
It has a bit. So the downlighters are all in. We are going to paint in here because somebody mentioned yesterday that the paint will just seal the plaster. But it is such a lovely colour, and we'll keep it this colour. So it just looks absolutely beautiful. And Steve is in the process of making another door to go here, which will be fantastic.
And how are you feeling about the house?
Yeah, it's lovely. It's got another nice feel again, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm so pleased. It's turning out.
Yeah. And I'm just sort of admiring that bit over the window there, how beautiful that is. And you said last night, didn't you, that you put this beam in that's new. It wasn't there. But look at the beautiful sharp edges on the walls and everything. It's just been done so beautifully. So clever. And then the floor, because we've had to make the floor higher, because we wanted to keep all the insulation. So we're going to put floorboards on top of this flooring. There's a gap by the window here so that the window's still open. It's so clever. So anyway, back round towards the dressing area. And then back out through here to the hall.
Cathedral landing.
The cathedral landing. Across the top of the stairs. And then into the spare room.
So you would have seen me making this in the salon downstairs on my makeshift bench. We weren't sure about a sliding door, but now we bought all the ironwork, and I've put a beam in, an oak beam up above to support the weight. It's not quite finished at the bottom because obviously the floor is not in this room yet, so the floor in here will be the same height as everything else. So there's a runner that it goes on to stop it from swinging about, but it works so well. It's a one-finger operation, like a Rolls Royce.
Better than a two-finger operation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, because it was, I mean, the reason why we came up with this is because although this room isn't small, you know, it is not small at all, it's a proper double room, it just leaves room in the room, so you don't have to open it into the room. And then, of course, the shower room is actually quite small, so that would not be great to have to open the door into the shower room. So, yeah, I think that's amazing. Very clever. Well done. And I think it's going to come off again, isn't it? And because we're going to paint it.
Yes, I'm not quite sure yet. I will need to check with the boss what I'm allowed and not allowed to do with this door.
Was that the handle that came with the kit?
No, this is
right.
a handle that I found in in Brico, that I thought looked a bit like a railway carriage door.
It does. It goes really well. I would have thought that came with it. Right, the other thing also is that as I was doing the walk through of which room is which and everywhere, obviously this door goes out to the mezzanine outside. So we'll have a quick look out there.
It's very dark out here.
Oh, it's not too bad. But this goes down onto this mezzanine level, which then over that edge, if you go to the right, you go back out into the front garden. So I think I showed you last time. I circled all the doors and everything. So this is another massive, well, you can tell by the sound of my voice has changed, a really, really big space. And we've already got ideas for it. So that wall, breeze block wall over there, actually is the neighbour's house then. So beyond that, it's not their house, it's just a workshop, it's not a house. So yeah, so all this wood piled up, more little roof lights.
All the rubbish from the renovations.
all the renovation rubbish.
That's all going to the dump next week.
Yeah. So, but the ingenious thing, come and tell us your plan for this floor.
So I don't want to lose, this door is already not very tall. I mean,
Well, it's just ordinary door height, isn't
about
it?
the same height as me, and I'm about 6'4". Wishful thinking.
In your dreams, darling.
In thick socks, I might do. So I don't want to cut this door down. I don't want to take any of the wall out to raise it up. So what I'm thinking is we'll have, like the window in the bedroom, we'll have a square recess in the floor.
Yeah.
With a piano hinge on the leading edge of it.
Yes.
So that you can open the trap door, step down into this area,
and then open the door. See, that's such a brilliant idea.
The mezzanine. I mean, this is not a thoroughfare anyway. This is just a way of getting out to the mezzanine. There is another route from the front of the house that you can come into this area. So I don't think this door will get used very much at all. But because the floor is coming up in here, and I don't want to cut this down, like I said, I'm just going to
it's brilliant.
Make a little well.
So a little treasure chest. So this obviously is where the bed is going to be up against that wall, the head of the bed there. So yes, we couldn't have a hole in the floor because then guests would kill themselves falling down steps. So I think it's just a really good idea. So it's a nice size room, and I think hopefully if we get planning permission, we're going to be putting a dormer, not a dormer. What are they called?
A conservation
roof light in there.
I've put the frame in before this was boarded.
Oh yes, clever
chap. The frames are in.
Yeah.
They're obviously hidden this side by the plasterboard and outside by the tiles.
Yeah.
So once we've got the windows. So once we've asked permission, and if it's a yes, then it's just a case of taking the tiles off on the outside.
Yeah, and plonking it in.
The insulation.
Very clever.
Fitting the windows on the outside, and then. And we've got the windows, we've got all the waterproof kit for it, we've got all the flashing for it.
Yeah.
So.
And we've already spoken to the mayor, but she just said, just don't do it beforehand and make sure you always ask before and send me photographs and that sort of thing. Yeah. And she seemed quite amiable to it. And of course, it's the back of the house, which is quite important.
And there are some, I can't pull it out because I've knocked it in with a hammer, but there are little windows here that have got no glass in or anything at the moment, so I'm going to, like we've done before, I'm going to make some little oak
that'd be lovely
double glazed windows. They
Yeah.
won't open or anything. They'll just be
No.
a double glazed window to go in there.
No, it'd be
And
very,
then
very nice.
Once this is all stabilised, although this is not unstable, this is going to be just decorating. There's no big works to do here. But when we do, we'll expose the coins around
Yes.
to make a feature of the little windows. So there's one here and there's a matching one on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
So, with renovations coming fast and furious, we can happily take a breath and admire our handiwork. Wow, we've come a long way in such a short time. I hope you can now see the layout of the house. I know from experience when watching other people's vlogs, it can be quite confusing to work out the layout of the land. So let's hope that's helped. Anyway, see you next time when we discuss the stairs again and the kitchen cabinets arrive. We hope. À bientôt!